Hi Thomas. So what have you got planned? Hero got planned this year?
Well, like every year, we have the Hero Cup, which this year actually comprises of 8 events. I think it was 7 last year, but this year is 8 events. And we start with the Poppy Rally down in Ypres. That's pretty competitive rally around, as I said, Ypres. It's a short event. It's a 2.5, 3-day event based on maps as well. So it obviously caters for all our competitors who enjoy the extra challenge of the map reading and the night section, not through the night, but obviously in March, the sun goes down relatively early, so you get good night navigation as well. That's followed on by we have the Icelandic saga that returns after a long spell, mainly due to a couple of erupted volcanoes the last time we had to run it, so we had to cancel it, not for our own desire, but simply we couldn't get the cars or fly out to the country. So welcome that. That's more in the format of a rally tour, really. I mean, Iceland is a fantastic place to visit. It doesn't have quite the roads that we, as rally enthusiasts, would enjoy in Wales or in other parts, certainly the UK or Europe altogether. But what a fantastic place to go see. Hopefully, I'd love to pronounce the name of the volcano, but hopefully, he'll still be dormant when we go there. And that's that we have a full entry on that event, which is great. So it's more of a destination, kind of rally tour with obviously rallying elements, but the roads are not that complicated, so you're not going to find the Pass of the Cattle or Stelvio equivalents.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Then that's followed on by the the Classic Marathon, which is in its 26th edition, and for the first time, this was a duty that Patrick and I wanted to really put forward, is drive across Italy. Obviously, we have good connections there, and we know the ground relatively well. So it goes from effectively just north of the heel to pretty much the knee of Italy, all the way up. So it's Lecce to Brescia, including the Mille Miglia Museum, and we're going through pretty remote areas of eastern Italy, which offers just the same quality food and victualling in general, just with less traffic. And that's fantastic to see more than 60 entries on the marathon, and very many people looking forward to that. After that, we have the 1,000-mile trial, which is a fantastic event that we operate on behalf of the Royal Automobile Club. So we've partnered up for a few editions to run it for them. We wanted to revive it, and they said what a great idea, and last year it was such a fantastic effort from all of us, really, from us as here and the organizers, and the support that the Royal Automobile Club gave us, that we ended up winning the International Motoring Awards for Best Rally of the Year, which actually was competing with some pretty serious events, including Tour Auto and other ones. And of course that was an event that was started in 1900. It only ran once to see if the motor car could be driven for 1,000 miles. Of course, in 1900 it took them 30 days to do so, and they had everything, including shotguns and cartridges, in case they got lost and had to find alternative sources of food. So that's in July, from the 12th to the 18th, and that is a fantastic event dedicated only to pre-war cars. And the format has some map reading, but not as intense as a Le Jog test or Poppy, of course. And it's a 6-day event, which goes effectively starts from Woodcote Park, drives around the country pretty much, and finishes at Woodcote Park. So, and it's really 5-star kind of proper rally, but you get all the extra add-ons, which is your luggage in your room and all the other things that some people
looked after.
Well, look, some rallies it's superfluous to do that because those participants don't care about the riff-raff around. But in the pre-war car segment, people tend to enjoy that as well. Maybe it's reminiscing of what would have gone on in period, but which no longer does. But so we try to do that. But that's good fun. Then there's a little bit of a break, and then we start again with Throckmorton in October. That's our one-day HRCR also event, which actually this year is not part of the HRCR event because of a slightly change in the format that HRCR is putting in their championship. But anyway, still a good popular event, which is a good day to go out on RF Throckmorton and test your car. And really we're using it as a tool to get people on a very well-priced, fun, way to network with other competitors and understand what tests are all about, and some.
Yeah.
So it's a good starting point, you know, for competitors. And then we have the Rally of the Tests, which is one of my certainly favorite events. This year, that's in November. As you'll remember, the Rally of the Tests is the recreation of the you know, the old RAC rally, and it keeps that obviously that spirit. So that's eligible for cars up till 1962. If you use a car which is younger than 1962, then you're eligible for class awards, but not for the overall awards.
Right. Okay.
And that's a nice, tough rally. That's coded as a black. For anybody who goes onto our website or reads our marketing material, we've coded every event with different colors, really echoing what goes on skiing slopes. So the black is the harness that you're going to get certainly from our platform, which involves, you know, MOD land or whatever, you know, non-tarmac, gravel, forest. You know, you need a sump because, you know, you do ground out occasionally just for the types of roads, and, you know, it's also what season in the year you're rallying. So if, you know, if you're expecting, you know, a lot of rain, then obviously the quality of the roads deteriorates. So that's why it's also good to, we don't specifically choose reckless roads to, you know, to break people's cars. God forbid. You know, we have our own problem with our own fleet from that perspective. But, you know, that should be the case. And then obviously the grand finale with Le Jog in its 21st edition this year. We had the maximum entry last year, both on the tests and Le Jog, with 90 entries on the tests and about 80 on Le Jog, which seems to be now you know, what's going to be going on this year as well.
So what about the arrive and drive? How many percentage cars have come with arrive and drive?
Well, actually, it's very interesting. So the way the fleet's developing is we have, if you want, black rallying, so in our codification, the black rallying compliant cars. So these are proper rally prepared cars, which include 911s and TRs and the Cortina and so on, a series of cars. We have about 25 cars in our fleet for the Arrive and Drive program, and some other ones that we can add on, which are also owned by Hero, but are more dedicated for corporate events. And so, you know, you wouldn't use an XK 150 on, you know, well, we wouldn't use an XK 150. I'm sure someone has in the, you know, exactly in the past on a Rally of the Test, but you'd definitely use, you know, that Cortina over there, which is prepared for that with cage and harnesses and everything, all the security features that obviously and equipment that one needs. So on average, we've now been attracting, I think it's about, we have about 6 to 9 cars on average on every event, which is fantastic because it means two things. It means that we've attracted people who don't have a car to try our rally, and this is the case on the you know, on the easier rallies, the entry form, the entry rallies I should call them. But equally, it offers an alternative for somebody who wants to use a rally prepared car, not necessarily their own. And it's actually much cheaper to use one of our cars, even though obviously at first sight the higher fee seems high. But if you think of the repair and maintenance before and after you have to do in your own car, and you balance it out, ours.
So is that including a full crew then? Like, is the people to look after the car?
Well, yeah, on all of our events, you have our mechanical assistants, which obviously are also the same guys who look after the cars when they're not on a rally. So their understanding of what's going wrong with the car, if there's anything going wrong with the car, because actually we've improved a lot of the standards. So I mean, it's possible to have a perfectly you know, bulletproof classic car. We try to get as much as we can. You know, we can't re-engineer a whole car, and even if you did, it doesn't say it's not going to break down. I mean, that's the thing about classic cars. But the fact that our mechanics are the same team that we use off the events means that if there is a symptom on the car, they'll have the quickest response in finding out what it is, which typically means that the competitors will finish the rally, be on the road, which is not necessarily the case if you use your own car.
Well, thanks very much for all that information, and I hope you have a good year.
Well, I hope so as well, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas.
Take care.